Hi, everyone. It is another session of the School of 5D. It's a learning session, but it's also a special video that is better than me trying to excitedly type out my answers to the Destroying the Illusion family. If you do the secret group, or the closed group, if you do see me post from time to time, you'll notice that when I get excited, I can't type, and you get extra letters in there and stuff, and you get that whole canoe ride with the ... thing. Anyways, what I want to talk about today is 5D. What the hell is it, and why should you care? I guess the thing about it, first of all, is to say that the foundation of 5D is to notice that in 3D we are constantly working with the physical, and we are always looking for solutions from outside of ourselves. And I'm going to work through a bunch of, I'm going to be saying a bunch of these little kind of teachings, or these things that you hear and you don't know whether or not they're worth listening to. Or maybe you know they're worth listening to, actually. It's that you don't know actually what they mean, or to your life. So one of the things in the beginning to remember about 5D is it is learning to manifest by having mastery of the non-physical. So that in itself is a huge sort of generalization thingy that doesn't really say much. So when I say mastery of the non-physical, I do mean telepathy, intuition. When I say mastery of the non-physical, I also mean your emotions, and the fact that emotional energy, emotion, it moves stuff. I'm just going to say that my mom used to say love can move mountains. There's something about that. There's a teaching in there. The consciousness level is it important or not? Who cares? Who cares what? Consciousness level raise what? I want a real raise, like a money raise. Not a raise in consciousness. Exactly what does that do and how does it help me? Well, it's going to happen anyways. It happens to everyone because the evolution of consciousness is natural, as I've discussed in other videos. But if you look at the consciousness, of course, simply of, say, animals as compared to us, or rocks or plants, you can see clearly there's a differentiation in consciousness. And we have, let's say in 3D, worked through physicality. Some of us believe that we came here, some of us, to experience physicality because we're already familiar with lighter densities, if you will. 5D representing 5 density, 5th level density. And so when you, in your practical everyday life, are saying to yourself, well, how do I work that? How do I connect with 5D? How do I did make a video about that, but simply put, it is my teaching, the only teaching I have. As I've said, I've spent many years of my life. I'm 55. I'm going to be 56 on April 1st, and I spent a lot of my life not doing normal things and just studying and trying to practice all this weird stuff. And that is that our non-physical, what we do non-physically affects the physical. This is the consciousness is that we're talking about is coming to a whole set of realizations through taking in information, and then those realizations are something that permeate this aspect of yourself, your consciousness, and simply shift you and do not allow you to do certain things. It's like having a conscience, something we never talk about. something we've completely lost touch with. We used to have something called a conscience, and this was a non-physical thing, not like a police officer with a gun, a non-physical aspect of ourselves that directed our physical selves, not to harm others. So, in a sense, 5D is also ethics, morals. It's anything non-physical. It is a removal of yourself from believing that everything is physical. Of course, you guys already know you're being controlled non-physically through your mind, through your consciousness. So, I'm going to be all over the place and random as hell because I'm just me. You can't expect to get a lot of things done in the old way of just going about things physically. And I was also going to go back to the consciousness and the fact that once we learn certain things and we take them into our souls, we then are prevented from doing certain things. So 5D is something you're doing right now. You're taking in new information that leads you away from corruption, immorality, and I don't want to get like Christian context about that. You're learning how valor and courage and fortitude and all of these things. These are the things that are bringing down the cabal and bringing down the deep state and bringing down all of that. It all began with a feeling, with a consciousness on the part, as I've talked about before, not us at the bottom of the pyramid because we can't do anything, but the guys in the middle. They're the ones that are saving us now, and they're doing that, and how are they doing it? I'll tell you what. What is the point even of trying to fight the machine by physical means only? We could easily say we've lost. It's a war of consciousness. So 5D is about taking in very, very deeply the wisdom, the highest wisdom that is available to you, and choosing to live by it. Manifestation. How do I manifest? Choose differently. And how are you going to manifest something that isn't in line with the overall intent of this place? You're not. So you need to cross a whole bunch of things off the list. And how are you going to know what the overall intent of this place is? Look at nature and see what it's doing. I'll tell you what it's doing. It's giving you everything 24/7, selflessly, for free. That's what it's doing. Nature is always in service to others. There is no such thing as a self-serving aspect of nature. It just doesn't exist. So 5D not only takes us, it takes us forward, but it also returns us to a time, and you can research, if you just look up ancient cave sculpture, mystery, put mystery, and then all of a sudden you're going to find all of these mysterious civilizations, great civilizations that they're dating at 8,000 or 9,000 or 10,000 years old. What the heck? I'll tell you what the heck. These were people related to us who understood that unified consciousness creates, and that alone and by ourselves and on our own and just by physical means, we're nothing more than rats in a cage being controlled. If you want out of the matrix, then shift your mind and allow your emotions to take you where it is that you're going. Okay, I'm done. It doesn't need to be super long. And thank you for everyone who does watch the YouTube channel. That's 14 people, I think. And I like that number. I did have my original FB profile with almost 3,000 people on it scratched. And you know what? I don't care. So I have the new profile. And if you're somebody new and you want to just friend me, go ahead. I will be at Peace Camp on Mount Elphinstone in the forest from April 1st onwards, I hope. And then I hope I'm never actually seen or heard from again. All right. You guys go into radical self-acceptance and stop judging yourself or others and get free, because that's the name of the game.